That Friday night began like any other, except I'd been waiting all week for it. Work had drained me, and I thought dinner out, some laughter, maybe even a real conversation would help us reconnect. Instead, when I stepped through the door, the living room was empty. On the table sat a note, short and cold, "Out with the girls. Don't wait up." My chest tightened. This wasn't new. Lately, she'd been making plans without mentioning them, brushing me aside, her eyes glued to her phone, her evenings reserved for anyone but me. I dialed her number. No answer. Minutes later, a text arrived. "Relax. I'm with friends. I'll be late." I stared at the screen, frustration bleeding into sadness. I wasn't jealous by nature, but being excluded over and over without so much as a conversation made me feel like a ghost in my own marriage. A pattern had taken shape. Every Friday, she'd end up at the same upscale restaurant with her friends, ordering like queens, drinks flowing as though life was one endless celebration. And every time, it was my card footing the bill. That morning, I'd seen the latest statement tucked in her purse. The numbers weren't small, but it wasn't just the expense that stung. It was the disrespect. She enjoyed the life my work paid for, yet wanted none of it shared with me. When she mentioned another girls' night coming up, I smiled and told her, "Have fun." I already knew my move. It was simple. Let her walk into her evening of champagne and selfies, hand over that shiny card, and watch it fail. That night, she left dressed to kill, heels striking against the floor with the confidence of someone stepping onto a stage. 10 minutes after the door shut, I opened my banking app and froze her card. I could picture it already, the smug grin vanishing the moment the waiter returned with the bill. The rooftop bar was alive with chatter, glasses clinking, perfume hanging in the air. Her friends embraced her with squeals and phone cameras, every moment curated for Instagram. She belonged here, basking in attention, in a world where appearances carried more weight than anything real. She slid into a booth, flashing that polished smile that screamed, "Look at me. I'm thriving." When the waiter arrived, she passed him the card without hesitation. He swiped. Nothing. Tried again. Declined. Her lips tightened. She insisted he try once more. Same result. Her friends went quiet, their chatter breaking into sidelong glances. "Everything okay?" one asked, suspicion curling around her words. She nodded, hands trembling slightly as she forced the card back into the machine. The waiter, gentle but firm, returned the card. "Sorry, ma'am. It's not going through." For the first time that evening, her facade cracked. Color rose in her cheeks, a storm of embarrassment made worse by the whispers around the table. She excused herself to the restroom, leaving half-finished cocktails and uneasy silence in her wake. Behind closed doors, her phone lit up with my missed calls and unread texts. I could imagine the panic setting in, the realization that I'd just pulled the rug out from under her double life. Eventually, she returned, pasting on a smile that fooled no one. The whispers followed her. Even the photos she posed for looked hollow, staged, desperate. I wasn't there, but mutual friends told me every detail. That night wasn't just humiliating for her. It was the kind of jolt that changes things. The next morning, the house was heavy with silence. She moved carefully, avoiding my eyes, every step weighted with shame. When I asked about the card, she forced a small smile. Probably the bank. Some error. But we both knew better. That night had cracked the surface, and there was no patching it back with excuses. In the days that followed, the shift was clear. She went out less. Her laughter dulled. She looked distracted, caught between guilt and reflection. Our conversations resumed, but they were tentative, fragile, like walking on ice. Then came the moment of honesty. She admitted how dependent she'd become on the life I provided. How she had taken it for granted. How humiliating it had felt to be exposed in front of her friends. She cried as she spoke, admitting it wasn't just about the money. It was about respect, about what she had risked losing. I told her trust isn't built on designer bags or endless dinners out. It's built on showing up for each other, through joy and struggle alike. She listened, tears streaking her face, finally understanding the weight of her choices. That night turned out to be a turning point. We began again, small steps, real conversations, shared responsibilities, carving out time for us instead of distractions. I never confessed that freezing her card had been my way of testing what mattered most. But the truth was simple. A relationship isn't a luxury brand you parade to the world. It's a living bond that demands care, honesty, and respect. That lesson cost us both something, but it was worth it. Sometimes, tough love is the only way to break through illusions. And in that moment, her embarrassment, my resolve, we found the chance to heal.